Today we're going to be looking at how to create a beautiful greetings card from just a few scraps of fabric, some thread and a little bit of bling. Hello and welcome back to a Kooky corner of YouTube. A couple of weeks ago I was showing you some of the heart cards that I've made, and I did show you this one here, which it's a fabric piece with an embellishment on the front of it. Really easy to make. If you've got lots of little scrappy bits of fabric, save them for this kind of thing because it's perfect. What you'll need is just a little bit of felt or some batting that you can cut into as a base, and then we're ready to roll. Here are a couple more that I have created on a different size card. So you get your pieces to suit the size of card that you want to fit. So you could do square ones, you could do rectangular ones, different size, thin rectangles. This one was a bit of a thicker rectangle like that. So whichever card blanks you've got or whichever ones you're going to make, then fit your piece to the size of. These ones are just drying off over there because I've put those together earlier. Here's one I made earlier. Anyway, so let's get a piece of felt and get started. So for this you can use thicker felt or any kind of felt base that you want. So if you've got like a craft felt, perfect. If you've got an acrylic and wool mix, also good. I wouldn't suggest using your pure wool felt for this unless you really desperately want to, because it's not going to be seen. It's just a base, so it would be a waste of such a beautiful wool felt in my opinion, but it's really up to you. If that's all you've got, go with it. Okay, so I'm going to make another long, thin embellishment and a long, thin greetings card. So I'm going to cut my base to the size that I want it to be. Trimming off the edges. Just to straighten it up a little bit. So I've got my small piece there, and I've got enough to make another one if I so wished to. Next thing you're going to need is your little scraps, and then this is the interesting and fun bit, well I think it is, deciding how they're going to lie on your piece. So I've got this piece here, and I have got, you see you could go stripes if you wanted to, but I kind of like the blocky look that you can get from the others. So let's see what else we can come up with. Like the yellow on that. Okay, I'm going to take a bit from here. I want to include some of that lovely yellow in on my piece, and I'm going to slot that in there like so. Okay, so I've got a little bit of that brighter yellow in there. I've also got some nice bright yellow in this piece as well, which I might want to use down at the bottom end just to balance it a little bit. Not too much, just a little. Maybe there. So I've got to find something for this corner here. And looking through my scraps. What about that one? That's quite nice. I like that. So I'm going to cut a piece that's big enough to cover that area there. As you can tell, my colours are as wild as ever. I don't want to lose that yellow that I've just painstakingly kept together. So yeah, That'll be fine, like that. And then I've got my little piece of yellow here that I want to introduce into there, just because. Get rid of the little bits, the tiniest bits. And am I happy, or do I want to add something else in? Knowing me, I'll probably want to add something else in. Maybe not that piece. Ooh, that's kind of nice, but it contrasts too much with that. Let's have a little look at this piece here. I'm going to cut a bit off and see how it goes. Maybe if I put that bit there and that bit there. I quite like that. I think that's too much, Yeah, I think I'm going to go with that. So that's my little layout. Really small, very quick to do. You can do a load of these in an evening if you so wished, because they don't take an awful lot of time to put together. You could also make a bigger piece and then just cut out the pieces that you want from it without stitching into it, and then you could have a whole line of cards that you were making all ready to roll. So it really is how you want to work. I just like to, sometimes it's a nice way to clear your brain a little bit, just so that you're just working on something small. You don't really have to think too much about it, and it just makes something beautiful that you can give out to other people and make them happy as well. It's a win-win situation. Okay, I'm just going to do this now, where I do a snip of the edges, snip of that edge there. I'm making a very good job of this, aren't I? That's fine. That's fine. Okay. Clearing up. Always like to clear up after myself. Love my little hoover. So now what I'm going to do is, as I usually do, is to stitch a running stitch up and down the whole piece to bring it all together. These threads that I've got here are ones that I hand dyed. There is a video on me making these actually. They were plain white pearl cotton, and I dyed them with Dynaflow dyes. I'll link that in the description box so that you can go and have a check out how to make your very own, because it's such a fun thing to do. So I can use any of these in this piece because all of these colours I see featured. Which one shall I go for? I reckon I'm going to go with this one. It's nice and bright and cheerful. So snip off a bit and grab my needle. Thread it up. Ready to roll. It's very satisfying using your own threads, I have to say. It's a really nice thing. So I'm going to do quite a decorative, and I say decorative, it's not super precious, but I'm trying to be a bit neater, because as these are going to be the focus of the card, then you want them to be as neatish as you want them to be. I mean, I'm never really super neat. I'm going to take that out of there now. But if you know what I mean. Because it's smaller, you have to take a little more care. It's like miniature anything, isn't it? When you're making something in a miniature, you kind of have to be a little bit more careful, because every little detail counts. Well, that's what I think. Little stitchy stitch. Actually, I'm going to put that one back in there because that's flapping around. We don't want no flapping around. Oh, no, 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 no. So, that's to that end there. Take that one out. And then go back the other way. And you do this all the way down the piece like we do. This is my general way. If you've been here for a while, you know the process. Now these can be as embellished or as plain as you want them to be. You could do this in without being in the wild colours that I've chosen here. You could go neutrals. That would look quite nice, especially with a copper heart or something to go on the front. That would look quite nice. But yes, you do you in your colour choices. The process is exactly the same. And it is a fabulous way of using the tiniest little scraps. And I very rarely throw anything out unless it's absolutely no use to me at all. You know, like the edge of a selvage, although they can be useful for tying things up. And I have seen some pieces of work done with just selve edges, so even those can be very useful too. Right, I'm going to continue to sew all the way down to the bottom, and I'll be back to show you what we do next. Okay, so that's all stitched. Now back to top to bottom, back to front, top to bottom with a little running stitch with that beautiful thread. And now what I'm going to do is to tack down. Got some of this blue on my desk. Should use some of this. I'm using my very huge cutting out scissors because they are available. Very lazily not going to pick up my small scissors from the other side of the room. Hey ho. Come on, we do the thready thing. We do the thready thing. That's it. Okay. So now I'm going to find all the loosey-goosey bits, not the ones right on the very edge, but the ones in the centre of the piece, and I'm just going to oversew those. You could do any stitch you like. I usually oversew because it's nice and quick, and you can catch down all those loose pieces of fabric really quickly. I'm even going to go up this bit here while I'm up at this end and do this one. Take that bit of thread out there. You can see how quick it is just to tack down or catch down these pieces, and you've got like a nice, I use a contrasting thread. You could hide it a little more if you wanted to match up your colours of thread to your fabric, but I don't know if you knew this, but I like the bright and bold. Don't know if you got that yet from me. Might be coming as a shock to some of you, but I do like the bright and bold colours. I see all your shocked faces. Not. You'll also be happy to know that I include glitter in my things as well. You don't have to do that, but I will because it makes me happy. Okay. Let's get rid of all these little threads. Take it up there. Some of them won't need to be catched down because they've already got a thread holding them down at the edge. I just kind of grab the bits that need it. So I'm going to continue catching down all my threads. I'll be back again. Okay, so those are all cut down now. The next thing that I do is to go around the edge so that we can finish off the edge. So if you have a look at this one, you can see all around the edge I've just whip stitched all around it just to keep those edges in a nice place, but also so that it just gives it a nice finish, really. So what am I going to go with? I'm going to go with this purpley blue one. I think this one will be nice to go around the edges. You could blanket stitch this if you wanted to. I am not going to blanket stitch it purely because it's not going to be seen from the back, and also you will use less thread and less time just to do a very simple whip stitch or an over sew stitch or whatever it is that you call it. I call it many things, I forget every time. It's just basically you start off in one corner and you're just going without tangling your thread. Without tangling your thread, I said. Just get the tangle out, I'll be back. Just a case of pulling it through. So yeah, simple stitch just to hold down all those edges around the tops and bottoms and the sides. So this goes all the way around your piece. You can be a lot neater than I am being at the moment, but then just take it all around your shape until you get back to the beginning, and then we've got a beautiful base. Okay, so I've gone around the edge and now it's ready for its embellishments. For embellishments for this one, I've gone with some embossing foil. Now this is you buy it sheet form. I got mine from Amazon. You can get it in gold, silver and a copper. In other places you can probably get embossing foil in different colours as well. I can remember getting green, red and blue at some point in time. You go for what you like. You don't want the really thin embossing foil. You want something that's got a little bit of substance to it. This is veering on the edge of a bit too thin. This copper one is a lot more substantial. What I did with these as well, I drew into them. So I had a piece of embossing foil and I kind of just used a little pencil to just scribe out things because it will hold the marks that you make on it. So that was that one. That one I put through the Sizzix Big Shot with an embossing folder around it, one of these embossing folders, and that works really well with foil. And then I just cut my shape out of it to finish it off. Now what else you can do, you can add in some beads, embellishment, more stitching, however much you want to add in. Obviously on some of these I've gone into a little bit more detail, so if we look at this one again, I've got some little stars I've stitched in. I've stitched around the heart, which you could do if you wanted to. And where's the other one? On this one I added a bit more stitching into the square behind, but I didn't go too much to town on these. So you will need some glue, some quite strong-ish glue to stick your heart shape to your backing. I've got this, it's a clear gel tacky glue. It dries crystal clear. I'm quite happy with that, and I'm just going to add this on all the way around my heart, making sure I've got right, well not right to the edges, but close enough. And very carefully I'm going to flip that over and position it on my piece where I want it to be. And that I'm just going to leave to dry on its own. And then also, because I'm extra, I'm going to add in some glitter glue. Now this is a Cosmic Collection glitter paste. This is from Crafter's Companion, and I am just going to grab a bit of it. It's like a gel. Stickles do a gel paste as well, and I'm just going to add some of that in just because. Why not? Just because. So that's got some glitzy bits on it. As I say, you do you. I do glitter. So that's that. Just clean up around the edges, and that is going to dry. Now, how you attach these to your piece? Well, it's another glue really. So let me grab a card. I've got quite a few different size card blanks, so I'm just trying a variety of them. This one is a long thin one. Let me take you back out again. It's a long thin one, so kind of sets up your piece quite nicely. Now, my favourite, this is, if anybody's been here for a while, you'll know that I love this so much. It's the Aleene's Felt and Foam Tacky Glue. It's great for sticking felt, to fabric, to card, whatever you want to stick it to. Just don't stick it to yourself. It's not as much fun. Okay, I'm going to grab this. I'm being quite careful because I've realised I've put glue on the front of this and it's all still quite wet, but I'm going to be quite liberal with it, getting it up to the top end, all over the back, making sure I've got some of the corners. You can spread it out a bit more if you like. I'm going to use my finger just to spread it around a bit. And then that is going straight onto my card, like so. It all dries out really nicely as well. You don't need to worry about cards buckling and things. It's really very good. Just having a look what it says here. Yeah, it dries transparent, non-toxic, instant grab. That's what you need. So for felt, glitter, pom-poms, feathers and chenille stems. So all of those things can be glued with the lovely Aleene's Felt and Foam Tacky Glue. I do like Aleene's glues. I have to say I've got quite a lot of them. Not sponsored, by the way, just saying. Cleaning up. I'm nothing if not clean. So I've got these foil pieces, but you could equally add some wool felt onto the front. You could add some other kinds of embellishments. So say you've got some pretty buttons, you wanted to focus on these, you could add those in as well. I'm just going to snip this here. There we go. And now my final pièce de résistance. I use this dimensional glue. I say glue, it's not glue, it is a deco pen. I'm going to go with a copper one this time. It's a Schoening deco pen. Anything will do, applique glue, anything where you can get a nice little dot scenario going on. I'm just going to try it on this piece of card because sometimes it does that, what I just showed you there. So I'm just going to give it a bit of a shake. Sometimes things are better after a good shake. So I'm giving it a good shake. Yeah, that's better. I'm going to get rid of that before I stick my finger in it. Speaks the voice of experience. Okay, so I'm going to gently, like icing a cake, dot the top. This is my way of finishing cards since I first started making cards. I got into the habit of adding this little embellishment. I just thought it finished it off quite nicely. So that's going to dry in a nice, oh, it's actually bronze, not copper, but who's worried? Nobody. So if you now want to, I mean, you could wait until this dried. I'm clearly under the pressure of time at the minute, so I am just going to sign it with my moniker. This is my little signature mark. Try not to touch the glue underneath it. And there you have a beautiful greetings card that you can share with friends and family or keep for yourself. And these are quite frameable as well. If you get a generic size, this is probably more of a size that you could frame. These are probably a little bit more difficult, still obviously possible, but they can be framed and had on to keep on people's walls and to be looked at and admired for many a year. So it's a gift as well as a card. These little pieces that I show you here can also be used to decorate the fronts of sketchbooks, to add into bigger projects. The sky is a limit. It's limited only by your imagination, so that you can go to town with it. I'm just giving you the bare bones of how to put these together, and it's a really, really good way of using up those little tiny scraps that you would throw away or not have a use for. I do hope you have enjoyed this little video on my putting together of the greetings cards. I get a nice little tidy pile of these that I can always dip into whenever I need a card for anything, because I keep them quite generic. I don't put any writing on them saying happy birthday, which you could do if you wanted to, but I keep mine kind of just loosey-goosey so that they can be for any situation. Anyway, that's enough from me. Enough waffle for today. I'll be back here very soon with something else. Bye for now.